to do the all signs today. I decided to do it live, so we'll see how it goes. It was just a spur of the moment decision. So I'm going to start with Gemini today. And try to, let's see what this is. Me and this tripod are really having our differences. All right, so Gemini, what is your DM? What's going on with your DM? Oh, that's right. I need to show you the bottoms of the deck. The overall energy is the Devil, Appreciation, Periwinkle, Make the Effort in Reverse, My Fears Keep Stopping Me, Boat in Reverse, and We Are So Different. Apparently several of these were incoming contact, We're So Different, Ether, and Saturn energy. So we have some very interesting energies. We have temptation overall. Let me see, 120. We have temptation as the overall energy. So Gemini, let's get started with you. I tried to move on and it failed. The Phoenix. Trust me. So I have a real interesting feeling with those two cards together. They may not be entirely telling you the truth right now. Flirt in Reverse, Lemon Yellow, The Thinking Woman, The World in Reverse. Despite what you feel, because I think they're trying to make it look very much like they've moved on and they're not thinking about you and they're off having a great time. It doesn't appear to me that they can or have moved on. They want to reach out and talk to you, to rekindle, renew, transform, grow, and say that they've changed their mind in a lot of ways about certain things. But their fear is stopping them. And part of what that fear is that there's some kind of unbridgeable gap between your lives or you two right now. And they're emphasizing that right now part. So Spirit's saying, don't take it upon yourself to make efforts right now. Just savor your own life, appreciate yourself, and this cycle is going to close when this work is done. So you will be hearing from this person again, it appears. Obviously you're going to hear from them again, but I think it's going to be on the sooner side, especially if you can. What seems to be attracting them to you is like this carefree attitude. This like, I don't know, they keep saying that you should like flirt with your own life, right? This has been a message coming through for a couple days. It's like, flirt with your own life. Flirt with yourself. Flirt with like who you want, how you want someone else to treat you, start treating yourself that way. And, you know, caring about the energy that you give to yourself. And this is a highly attractive thing to them. You know, we have this flower of life she's standing in. There's something about flowers here. I think when you make the effort towards yourself, this great love grows. Like there's something about pouring the energy into blooming your own life that's very magnetic to your person. And I think it's partially because you're learning to trust yourself in a way that's very maybe new to you. Like you may have been very you may have been taught to kind of not trust your thoughts and feelings, not trust your own desires. And so your masculine would be reflecting that back to you. But they do want to say that learning to trust yourself would be a big step in the right direction and very highly attractive to your masculine. Okay, I'm going to move on to Cancer. So, Cancers. At the beginning of this video, I showed you the bottoms of the deck, and they will be part of this reading. The 7 laws of prosperity. So those are the, you know, hermetic laws. Axe. So immediately they're bringing up like the law of reciprocation or karma. My life has changed so much since meeting you. Oh my gosh, trust. Look at Gemini's got trust me. And you got trust. Secret card. Axe and hammer. Okay. Rose pink. Contract. 4 of Cups. So I may say you should watch Gemini's reading here. They want to highlight that karma isn't just on Earth. Karma is also universal, like a universal law. And you may be focused on the give and take of like this particular relationship or a particular relationship. And they're saying right now it's like a maturing time for you to understand that the energy that you give out to the universe is very much like seen and felt, and it comes back to you no matter who is bringing it back to you. Like it may not be a particular person that gives you back your energy, but so I think you've been focused on some kind of inequality, and the fact that maybe this person, your masculine, didn't make the effort that you wanted them to at the time you wanted them to make it. And this is something you're kind of holding as like a grudge is what they're saying. And that's bringing this fear, right? And this fear can be stopped with gratitude. Like, so right now, it feels like you're kind of on the fear side of the coin, both of you, right? They're showing you yourself. You're on the fear side of the coin. It's like you're like kind of sending your energy to each other in a way that's like, no, I ended this first. No, I ended this first. Like it's like you're fighting over a rejection wound or an abandonment wound. It's like you don't want to be the one to have left, to have been left. And what Spirit is saying is that really this gift of being apart or in separation is for this process of maturation and to change pretty dramatically, it looks like right here, to learn to trust in the karmic nature. I only use that word because we're talking about like reciprocation and balance of the universe, right? And people understand that word, not karmic like the karmic, but I will say I feel like this energy has gone on for a long time or has been present in your life. Like it may be something that you learned from your mother or a family member. It may even be ancestral or past life. Like I feel like there's a huge fear here, probably being shown more by him, because this is about him, of not trusting love and not trusting relationships and not trusting specifically like what's given from the divine here. So there's a fear of being left, there's a fear of being rejected, there's a fear of being abandoned, and that's kind of playing out in the relationship with the universe. That took me a little bit of time to get there. But like, again, I would say go watch Geminis, because there's again something with blooming here. There's again something with maturing and like opening to the gifts of the universe in a way where that's going to be reflected back in with the DM here. And part of that is that, you know, whatever you give, you will receive. You just may not receive it in the form that you're looking for it or from the person that you're wanting to receive it from. And so they're saying, when you're withholding your energy from the world, you're really only hurting yourself. Even though you're trying to keep yourself safe, because it hurts when you don't get it back from the person that you think you're going to get it back from at the time you think you're going to get it back. It's like you hiding your beauty from the world only hurts you. I hope that helps someone, and I hope that makes sense. So we're at 1404. Okay, I'm going to move on to Leo. Hi, Leo. So at the beginning of this video, I went over the overall energies, and I will be taking those into account with this reading. They seem to kind of be playing on each other, and we have Gemini energy. There may be a partner or another part of yourself that can help you with this job. Tap into your mercurial intelligence. Keys on a ring. I'm overcoming my childhood trauma. These piles are so similar. It's safe for you to love. Specialized, unique, rare, and exotic. Adjacent possibilities. A Hierophant. Well, there's something very clear here, is that your masculine has trauma, which means you have trauma. And there's a feeling here that you can't open up to let someone else help you, Leo. Like, you really feel like you have to do this all by yourself, and like nobody will really understand you. And that comes, okay, so here's part of my understanding, and this is my favorite card in this deck, but this is not how I normally interpret it. It's like your shadow right now is, it's like your ego is trying to keep you safe, which our egos do, and everyone has one, by thinking like you're so special, and you are. Everyone's special in their own way. But your ego is kind of over inflating that, or this is what you're seeing in your masculine. Remember, it's like always our mirror, is that no one will understand, what I've been through, what I went through. And so I really can't open up. And I can't share. And Spirit's saying, like, now is the time. Now is the time to face this and to bring it out into the light. And, you doing this will have your masculine doing this. And so there is a fear here about making effort. There is a fear about, I will say, there's kind of a fear here about kind of being like everybody else, in terms of opening up your heart, and like and kind of letting in again the flower of life and and flowers, and like making the effort is just this overwhelming overriding theme here. And the give and take of it. This has been in all three piles so far, that to actually give yourself and dedicate yourself and be in a committed relationship. I think this is your masculine. Like, there is a fear here of kind of leaving the player vibes, or getting really real and serious, and kind of putting yourself out there as like, I am making the effort with you. It's a lot safer and a lot more in control if I'm kind of playing the field. I'm, not putting all of my eggs in one basket. And there's coming a point of crisis here. Crisis is the wrong word, but there's coming a point here where it's like a turning point of, I can't go any farther in that direction without admitting that this is on me, right? I think your masculine's going to come to a point where they're going to say, I've repeated this enough, and I know that, my fears are what's stopping me, and I miss you so much that I don't care what I have to do or what I have to face. I want to be able to be with you, right? This is a really beautiful message. It's like they have been really holding back, and because they know that this is a very serious energy here, like they know that it's very serious because they can feel it, but they have been receiving downloads, and they have been receiving energy, and it has been about being a player. And I don't even necessarily mean that they've been with a whole bunch of people, but what they have been doing is like minimizing their real feelings for you and playing with other people's emotions, because that felt a lot more safe and in control. So I hope that message came through loud and clear. That was a nice message. Okay. So 2109. Okay, we're on to Virgo. Hi Virgo. So at the beginning of this video, I went over the bottoms of the deck, and they will be playing into this reading. Whew. Well, this is a big energy shift here. These cards, it appears you're in separation, but having heavy telepathic communication. Like, even when I'm trying to speak now, it feels very difficult because it's like, I feel like something happened here. You've taken a hit to kind of your self-worth. Okay, so we have the card of the shaman. Using other realms and connecting to the spirit world, the shaman heals by making whole. So, yes, this is exactly, like, I don't think you're talking. I do think whatever this pain, which was like a blow to your heart, a direct strike, whoever this is for. Here's the thing. This is mostly about you, but I'm going to talk about your DM too. It's like, I have a feeling you had intuition that something was going to happen, and you maybe didn't listen to it, and you kind of went ahead and walked through like these badlands, is what they're showing me anyway. Despite the warnings, or maybe people telling you you shouldn't do something, or it could have come out of nowhere because I see these just hands reaching out here, but I think you sided with the good, right? You just chose to believe that things would really not be quite as devastating as they were or are. And Spirit's saying this is kind of an opportunity right now for you to, so they're showing me like your heart as a puzzle, and to kind of take your heart puzzle pieces out and lay them out. And I can feel a gnawing in my solar plexus right now. So I can tell that this is like a bothersome, this is a heavy thing to do. Take your heart puzzle pieces out, and your masculine may be doing this in some sort of way. As they may be silent, and this may be part of what they're doing, is that maybe like the way that your heart has been wasn't being true to your soul, right? Maybe the way that it was arranged before was kind of smushed together or held together with like tape or like string, or it was like bound up, and they're saying like you can take this apart and you can kind of heal each piece. And in healing each piece, it's a lot less overwhelming, right? Than thinking, well, I'm just broken. Because I think your masculine has been just thinking, I'm broken and this won't ever work and I'm not lovable. I don't deserve love. And it's because it's like the collection of pain that has been kind of stuffed into the heart is too overwhelming to face all at once. God, Spirit, it just never ceases to amaze me. The messages that come through are so beautiful. It's like they can't make an effort towards you because when they try to access their heart, it's just overwhelming pain. And so there's a time now, Virgo, where you can take your heart out and look at each piece individually. And like, there's no right or wrong, right? But there is a vision that you have for your life and the kind of love and relationship you want to have. And so looking at each piece will allow you to understand where the truth of it is and what is the lie, right? So the truth feels light and a lie feels heavy. And by there's some like rocks you're carrying around in your heart that are making you believe that they were other people's rocks and you took them on. Like we do that as children, and to people we love, we will take on their pain and we will take on the lies that they believe are true in order to like relieve them in a healing fashion. If we can, you know, unburden them. So they're saying right now the telepathy aspect between your hearts is very, very strong, and this is a really big portal, an opportunity for you to make big strides with this healing. Like you're somewhat protected and cocooned, I think, from the world to do this work, which, you know, is going to transform your picture of your self-worth. And even if you feel like you have good self-worth, this is going to bring a wholeness to your ability to unconditionally love that you haven't yet experienced. And they're saying like, there's a lot about red here, but they're also saying like, there's some things in your root chakra that you've held on to, possibly like from your masculine figure or their masculine figure, that's like causing some instability, and you're kind of protected from that now on purpose. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. That's a beautiful message. I can't really even see. What are we at here? I don't think that's right, but we're on Libra. Hello, Libra. At the beginning of this video, you can go back to the very front. I did the bottoms of the deck, and that will play into my reading. As the overall energy, I couldn't say it, but I felt a lot of the same things that you did. The Dragonfly, which is my Divine Masculine card. Be lighthearted, finding out things, coming to light, adapt, change, and heal. I see signs of you everywhere I go. Engagement in reverse. Blue-gray, soul family, distant travel, emotion, gliding along, common goal. Interesting. Healer of the ages and Five of Wands. This is card 51 here. So I feel like your masculine Libra has been going through a period of healing with some soul family members. Perhaps karmic, perhaps other men, masculine energies in their lives. Because I see these 5 men here and how their lives are crossing together. So this could be some kind of group, whatever it is, church, whatever. I do see here that there's a lot of spirituality around you right now, and your masculine is really appreciating how the universe has been speaking to them. And what's kind of interesting is the overall energy of the bottom of the deck is the devil, and he has this star on his chest, which isn't a typical pentagram, right? It actually kind of looks like this star. I mean, these men could be standing in this structure right here, and it could be that he's really examining the type of man he wants to be, masculine he wants to be. I did an energy healing on my Instagram last night, and it's up there if you want to go watch it. The star image came through a lot, and it is having to do with, in that particular thing, the masculine and feminine triangles, right, coming together. And the Star of David, it's also called the Star of Venus, I believe. Your love life is ascending to a higher commitment. I have a feeling here for some of them that they broke off a relationship or decided not to move it forward more. This, for those of you that haven't been in separation for a while, this could have been with you. Like you could have gone your separate ways because they weren't willing to kind of work with you. Even if you're in separation, I feel that there's a sort of a discord around what they're showing you versus what's actually going on behind the scenes. And again, I see this very sorry, much in that they have an issue around saying things. Their fear that you cannot understand the real them, which is also your fear. There's something here that's stopping you from expressing your truth and expressing who you are and them expressing who they are. And I do feel like the public image or the image that's presented is kind of important in this relationship. It's like, you know, it's not a real case of like what you see is what you get. I feel like you see something and you get something else. And there's an alignment there that is coming to pass. Like you will be aligning more your image, your it will be coming into focus. It's like there's two separate things right now, who you are and then who you look like you are, and they will be coming more into alignment with each other. And part of why that's happened, or why it's happening, is that you're bringing back sacred knowledge that you have, that you've held over since Atlantis, and you're understanding, this is all like just coming in, sorry, it's a lot. You're understanding a masculine energy in a really different way. Like, so the dragonfly is the masculine energy, and it's like you're learning and they're learning. You're both learning a lesson on how to be disciplined with masculine energy and how to use it for creation instead of like destruction. It's very interesting. I feel like right at this time, the healing's a lot more internal. Like you're having to say things to yourself more than you're having to say things to other people. And I think you're learning to, it may be a healing of like people pleasing or putting others before yourself, and the lessons that have come from like helping other people succeed, helping other people live their dreams, versus you appreciating your own dreams, your own self, building your own structures, and like carrying your own torch and like fighting for yourself. And in some weird way, I can't quite understand how they're helping you do this, but they are. And you know, together you're kind of behind the scenes building this structure where you can really express outwardly exactly who you are inside, right? And it's like part of the benefit of having discipline in your life is it's like when you take the time to build a solid structure, you don't have to worry. It's kind of like the tower. You don't have to worry about the structure crumbling all the time because you know how solidly you built it. And that is the role of the masculine energy here, where you take the time to build the structure correctly. And that's hard work, right? And it also requires choosing what structure you're going to build. Like you can't build all structures solidly at one time. You have to focus and make the effort, right? You have to choose and make the effort. And the choice sometimes means we do put all of our eggs in one basket, and that basket, you know, we take the risk of it not being the right basket. So I hope that made sense. It was a roundabout. Sometimes it's roundabout. Okay. So where are we at? 39. Okay, Scorpio. I swear, when I talk, I lose all track of time. Scorpio, at the beginning of this video, I did the bottoms of the decks, and those will play into this reading. So you can go back and look at those first if you want to. I feel like we're missing a card, but we're not. Deja Vu, Knight of Swords. That's interesting. Separation in reverse. I can't face you right now. Keep an open mind. Cyan, Angel of Love, Knight of Swords. The first message I'm getting is that you may be avoiding having a conversation or facing somebody right now. Maybe your masculine may be avoiding facing you, or they may have run away from the situation, especially if it included multiple people. They're saying it's not going to be nearly as bad as you think it is, or they think it is. It's like, I do think that the separation will end. It may be one of those times where like they come in just to go out again, and so you should be aware of that. There's two like really angelic cards here, and what is that? They're saying that I've been there the whole time. They're saying that I do get this feeling like they're gonna come in and go out again. And you're gonna be like, deja vu, right? Like, that's happened before, it will happen again. And your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So on the bottom of this deck, we had You're So Different. And what does seem to be a big reason that masculines are using for not making the effort this masculine in particular does not want to talk. We're definitely watching you. Deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning, receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure, arriving and moving on. So I just get this come and go energy where it's just going to, they're going to appear back in your life, or they have, and then they're going to leave again. And partially it's because they don't like talking about things. Though there is the Knight of Swords here, there's a vulnerability around emotional, talking about emotions. God. And though this card is like in the blue family, which does rule the throat chakra, it's more about the energetic movement behind the speaking, and which I think is what's going to be more important here. It's that they need to energetically align their mind with the truth of their heart. And you know, Four of Pentacles, Four of Swords. So you actually, in this bottom of this deck here, just want to show you because I've used it in other ones, but I didn't go that far. You have 4, 4, 4, all in reverse. 4 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, and then Judgment. It's like they're judging themselves as unstable, and they actually are like seeing themselves through your eyes in the way that they fear. So they think you see them one way, and that has some pain for them. They don't want you to see them badly. And I think that's what they're going to come back in and say or have said. And part of what needs to align is that the love that you guys share is really big, and it scares them. It also brings up like all their fears, right? And this is what makes them turn and run away from love here. I mean, that's nothing new. We know that kind of, but for some reason it's important in this scenario because of things that have happened before that they just really had to shut off from. And I think part of what is going to change this is like the boundary that you create that is really stable and really like unchanging. When you get really clear on your own heart and your own healing and the way that you want to interact in the world, like they're saying, you're aligning to your own truth and like the energy that you hold in the world and what you want to, you're figuring out that you create your own feelings. Not like you don't have to react to the world and have the world create your feelings or like react to the external. You can create this feeling of love in yourself, and that's quite a quantum shift there. I mean, that's no easy feat. And as that happens, there's a feeling of safety that's created that they align to, which, and I'm not saying like you need to do any work for them whatsoever. This is all work you do, right? And that allows them to face their own self and their own, that's what's going to end the separation. And that is to a degree what we do, but the thoughts that you can like, it may have always been the same way for a long time, and you may have been going through this cycle again and again and again, and it doesn't matter. It's like today you can choose to align to a different truth, and the past can all be reconciled in a moment if you want it to be, if you choose it to be. Like, that's what they're saying. It's like part of what you guys are thinking is that this type of healing takes a very long time, and they're saying no, it doesn't necessarily have to take a long time. It's just that the repetition, you keep repeating things, and so it appears that it's continuous, but it's not. It can change just in a moment, if you want it to, and that means that you align with the truth of your own heart. Okay? Oh, look at that. It's 444. Okay, I'm going to move on to Sagittarius. Hi, Sagittarius. At the beginning of this video, I went over the bottoms of the decks, and those are going to play into my reading for you. The World. Fixed energy. Yay. Sixth chakra, Violet. Unrequited love. I'm battling my addictions. Love call. I wish I was braver. Wow, wow, wow. So, Spirit has a big hand in what is going on right now with your masculine. So when we feel, it's so weird the way I get information, but when we feel like a void inside, meaning we feel really badly, or we are not wanting to look at a feeling that we're having about ourselves, right? I kind of call this the pit. It's like this empty space inside. Part of when we distract ourselves with addictions is to avoid feeling these things. And there's this kind of codependency feeling here of like, your masculine may have addictions, and he may just avoid feelings, and you may also do that in your own particular way. I mean, to some degree, we all do that until we're ready to face something. And some people do it their entire life. And part of the story that's going on here is a not enough story, right? Like, if I was enough, they would make the effort. If I was enough, they would be able to get over this thing that they're dealing with. And also, it's like this mirrored energy that's like, if I was enough, I could say the things I wanted to say and do the things I wanted to say. But there's kind of a belief, a false belief at this heart of this, that somebody's telling themselves. It's like, well, if they wanted to, they would. And it's more about if they believed in themselves enough to be vulnerable and put themselves out there, even though they might get hurt, they would. Now, it is kind of this popular thought right now that like men don't care, they'll just put themselves out there and they'll get hurt if they want to badly enough. And there may be truth to that statement in some ways. Here, it's kind of like a very deep abyss they're on the edge of, right? It's like there's a fear here that if they really put themselves out there, or you really put yourself out there, that you may fall into abyss that you can't get out of. And that's when we really look at, the heart of the wound. And I do feel like Spirit is communicating with you, Sagittarius, like really trying to get your attention around this subject. I feel like your focus is just on like, why isn't he talking to me? Why isn't he calling me? Why? But really what needs to happen is like, you need to communicate with yourself. You need to ask yourself, why am I not facing what I need to face? Why am I not believing on the inspiration, the messages that I'm receiving inside? Like, I do believe that there's kind of like the physical and the spiritual here, and they seem to be fighting each other, or two messages are kind of clashing with each other. Because if you were receiving these downloads from Spirit, and if you were able to talk about the way that you feel fully, you would take this big leap. Sorry, this means this is an important message for somebody. There would be a new beginning here. There would be a moving forward. But right now it appears it's all kind of stuck in the past. It's all kind of going around and around this issue of whatever this addiction is. It could even be like an addiction to fear, and that buying into the belief that, you know, it's really better to stay safe when that safety is really kind of an illusion. Of course, never ever put yourself in a bad situation, but only you know what you can handle in your life. And so even though he's thinking of you, I don't see him sending the message right now. But I do think that's what you guys are working on, and it will move forward as you face these fears and overcome these things. I can't even really see the time. I think it's 55. All right. Hi, Capricorn. At the beginning of this video, I did the overall energies at the bottom of the deck. Your card did come up at the bottom of the deck. So we have the Devil. It will play into this reading. Queen of Swords, Envy, Blue. Calling your soulmate. I got a tarot reading on you. The Chaser, Leo energy. So I have been talking a lot about Venus and Leo. I do think this is going to be a big energy for you. It looks like right now your masculine doesn't have much to say. They're trying to do the right thing. Even still, even if they're trying to do the right thing, so there's two kind of energies coming here. They may have someone else. They may also not be able to stop thinking about you. Part of what's going on with them, this is kind of this different message than what's been going on here, because this have been pretty spiritual messages. I feel like they really need a lot of outside validation. And that means, that they aren't valuing themselves. They aren't loving themselves. Of course, that means to some degree you're mirroring that, and you can really appreciate yourself more and learn to love yourself more. The Leo energy is all about the solar plexus, and I do think, one or both of you may be involved with other people, but it is more importantly, it's like, oh, this is such an interesting message. So I don't really believe in runner chaser, but I do understand what it means. And then part of what they're saying is that, like, the masculine is chasing other people because of this anxious attachment style, that you are kind of chasing things in life to make you feel worthy, right? And trying to seek that outside validation when really it's like they're showing like the sun, they're showing the solar plexus, but they're showing like the sun in your solar plexus. It's like you really can free yourself from this. Oh, look, see, I can't make this up. You really can free yourself from this limiting belief that you need somebody else to appreciate you. You really can appreciate yourself. And this is what this is teaching you. Whatever they're doing, they're chasing somebody else, I think. They're going after other people. And I think this is honestly one of the most difficult parts of twin flame is that you have to stop seeking that outside validation, and you have to start validating yourself. And in some capacity, that surrender, that letting go, kind of feels like you're giving up, right? On Because you have to stop putting your energy onto them. And they feel that when you do that. They feel you redirecting your energy to yourself. And but you in turn kind of feel like you're abandoning them because you're aware of their energy like so strongly, you know. And it's, I think, one of the hardest things to kind of let go. We can say it a lot, but the actual like act of taking your energy off of them and putting it onto yourself. Not only do most of the feminines have this thing where we feel selfish if we do that, because we've been people pleasing most of our lives, we also have a difficult time really saying, what is it they're getting through here? We kind of fear we kind of fear being self-indulgent and too like full of ourselves, I think is what they're getting at. It's like when we shine our light into the world, we're pretty aware on an internal level about how much, like, look at, I've been talking about like the sun and the solar plexus, but out of that like dark cave, behind her is all of this golden light, right? And we kind of are aware that people can become envious or can kind of attack our light. And so we've kind of learned to like dim it down, learn to hide it. But this Leo, this Venus in Leo, 4-month transit, I think, you know, where we go through Lionsgate, is going to be a very big, for most people, it's going to be a very big lesson in self-love. But for you especially, I think it's learning to properly like shine your light in all of its brilliance, but also to be somewhat protective and to learn to put your energy onto yourself in a very, very healthy way. To learn to heal that fear of abandonment and that codependency. And this will help you to come together. So I hope that helps you. There was another, I'm trying to think of who else's message was kind of like that, but where are we at here? 64. All right, Aquarius. So Aquarius, at the beginning of this video, I went over the bottoms of the decks, and those will play into my reading. More, oh, you got the Twin Flame card. Wow. Upright too. I don't know. They're kind of saying this is like a slow burn victory. You're kind of building with a long term, your masculine's building with a more long term goal in mind. So this card, Deeper into Shadow. Do not run away from your shadow. Instead, run towards it. Feeling your shadow feelings will release them from you. There's something about the wheel here. I got this message once this week before. It was like, if you keep running and chasing, which is the anxious and avoidant attachment style, right? You keep seeking validation, and this is a little bit similar to Capricorns, but it kind of keeps spinning that wheel. If you stop and you like walk into your shadow and you face all the fears that you've been running from, because that's what that actually is. When you're running towards somebody to get their love, it's a fear that you're unlovable, and it's a fear that you'll be abandoned because you're unlovable, and you'll be rejected, and you'll be, all of the things that we don't want to look at. But when you stop and you walk into that darkness, the wheel of running and chasing kind of stops. It's like half of this card is in the light and half of this card is in the darkness. And the things that are growing, that have been planted are producing what you can see on the surface, right? So if we have fears planted in the darkness, what's going to come to the light is the product of those fears. And what they're saying is, if you go look at what you've planted in the darkness, you're going to see why you search for victory in being validated. And you do have the ability right now to transform the way that you see yourself. Okay, so if when you were, your subconscious, right? The darkness is your subconscious, and your, what we hold as true. You can see there's like a snake wrapped around right there. This is kind of self-knowledge. And when we're young and we believe that the people who are taking care of us love us, our subconscious is like wide open, and we believe that the things that they're saying are the truth, and that they wouldn't say them if they didn't, they love us. And this is what we believe love is, right? This is really deep. But a lot of what they said is just stuff that was said to them when they were little, and it's just the wounding that's carried down from generation to generation, right? This could also be representing like the 7 generations that are carried in our DNA, Aquarius, that it's really, really difficult to tear apart your fears, which are part of the foundation of what you believe has kept you safe in your life. And if you feel like you haven't been winning, and if you feel like you aren't as valuable as you'd like to be, which is a judgment, right? But like, if you feel like you're not bringing your gifts into the world, and you feel like you're minimizing your value, it could be from something that someone has said to you. And I think your masculine is probably aware of some of this, or showing some of this to you, because they seem from these cards to be aware of your some aspect of the nature of your relationship. Like when you have the twin flames card come up upright, you guys have accepted some aspect of this relationship is a mirror, it is divine, It is teaching you lessons here. You may not call it twin flame, but there is some aspect here between you two that's bringing up really deep hurts. You're triggering each other very profoundly. And what I'm trying to convey is the message that Spirit's bringing through about what you can do about that. And what they're saying is that you have a desire to feel victorious in love. You have a desire to feel valuable. And one of the ways that you do that is in relation to those around you, your family, your work, your twin. And some part of you is not feeling adequately seen or reflected. And they're saying that's because you're not allowing it to be expressed into the world. And part of what is stopping that is that you have some fears in the shadow planted, and they're producing more. Your fears are stopping you, right? And you can be grateful for the role that they've provided in your life, right? Our fears and our false beliefs kept us safe in life in a lot of ways. But if you're desiring to grow a bigger tree or a more authentic tree, you have to look at the roots of where it is growing from. And in order to do that, you have to go into your shadow, and you have to look at where you got the seeds. That's a really good analogy. You have to look at the seeds and where they came from, and be willing to say, I would like a different plant than is growing. I would like a different plant than maybe my family grows. There's something here about growing, because we have like 3 cards here. We've had like a lot of flowers in these, but we've had 3 cards here about olives, a plant, and then the laurel leaves. This card is about family business, harvesting, fluid abundance, like actual olive oil, and it being valuable. And they're saying here, like, you want to maintain a certain peaceful feeling in your family, or you don't want to, like, you might want to change, and you don't want to hate them because they did the best that they could, but you can still change, right? 28 is the card of abundance, is the number of abundance. You can have all that you want, and part of doing that is getting to the shadow that keeps you trapped in this pain cycle. And part of this pain cycle is that you can't honestly express who you are into this world, or your love of yourself and your twin, which is the same thing, right? So I hope that helped you, Aquarius. It was a beautiful message. 73:02. I can barely see that time, so hopefully I don't get it wrong. Pisces, hello. Lovely. So at the beginning of this video, I did the bottoms of the decks, and those will play into my reading. You can go back and watch that if you want to. 9 of Cups. Why can't I say this? Root chakra. Healing family issues. Turquoise, I love you. Camera, do you even miss me? All right. So we have a masculine here that's being very, it appears, has been doing some pretty deep healing. And like, just like I said, like with Aquarius, this seems to be like where Aquarius is going to. I feel like this masculine has done some of the work that was described in Aquarius. Getting to the point where they are looking at what caused the instability, what caused maybe addictions, maybe I feel like that they were in a state of like very unhealed trauma, and that they're either going through the process of healing it or coming out the other side of it, integrating all of the past and the present to see what they want in their future. And through this process, I think probably in separation, although this is that they're very nostalgic about you in particular. I feel like you're quite nostalgic about them. There's a deep loving bond here that it's a nice energy where I feel like a lot of signs have been wanting to come to the point where they can express the truth. And this masculine is almost there. They're kind of wondering right now. You appear very happy on your own. They may be happy in some respects too, but there's a part of them that really, I feel like they're wondering, why haven't you come after them, is what's coming through. It's like, why haven't you come told me you miss me? Why haven't you come told me that you appreciate me? You know, but vice versa, right? There's a vice versa here. It's like you two are marrying each other, again with the flowers here, and the trees. There is some kind of fear that is holding you back or holding them back. I do think like there's an 8-9 here. Through this healing, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. I think that's what the main feeling here is, that they're learning to forgive. You're learning to forgive. And not only other people, but you're learning to forgive yourself. And I can feel in my heart there's a big lesson here. And this lesson has brought this enlightenment, right? This is deep past energy, right? Again, foundational energy. That's what our root is. Our root is our foundation. And it's hard to excavate a foundation of a house, right? If there's a crack in the foundation, you're ripping stuff up. You're not getting around it. It may be that the entire structure has to be demolished. And I feel like, it's just my feeling, is that a lot of this work here in this group has been done. And I will say that I feel like you guys went through some darkness, right? You got to get through the darkness to see this light inside. And they're saying like smoky quartz may be good for you right now, because there's some transmuting that still has to be done. But I can't disregard how much gold has been a theme too this week. It's like fool's gold versus real gold. And there's a learning here about gold specifically, like fool's gold versus real gold, or things that glitter versus the real deal. It's like experience teaches us that difference between those two things, and learning to trust our heart and the feelings that are in it has been something that this masculine has been going through. And I think that they, in their family, really didn't have the luxury of their heart ever being open, is what they're showing me. That they had to protect themselves from a very early age, and I think probably you did too. And I think this heart was buried in this chest here. I mean, it's obviously metaphorical too, right? Like your chest. But like all of the gold was kind of like, they're saying squandered, which is not the right word, I don't think, but like you only have given out your gifts, your gold to the world in like little tiny doses. And this healing has allowed you to be much more free with sharing your love and him sharing his love. And specifically forgiving that his parents were just people doing the best that they could, and that may have not been very good for some. And they may have done a lot more damage. And so they're showing me a card here. What card are they showing me? I think I had it in another, oh no, there it is. They're showing me this card and him like turning this crystal, right? As you turn it, you can see all the different facets of it. And they're just saying that's what he's been doing. He's been like holding this in his hand and reflecting on it pretty deeply, even though I don't know that you saw that, right? I feel like you didn't see it. I feel like this was hidden because these two figures are kind of looking away from each other. I feel like there's a question here of, did you two, like, what is stopping you guys from talking about this stuff? And that's what still kind of needs to be healed, because I can feel that in my heart. There's like this little piece still that has to be reconciled, where you, it says reminiscing, keepsake, learns from the past, perception makes memories. I think they're shifting their memories around certain things. Specifically around like what it means to give and receive love, right? It's like to give and receive, or to give and receive love. It's like, how do you do that and remain protected? Or how do you, how unprotected are you willing to be? And it's coming to a point, you know, where you just can't deny that feeling of, you know, I love this person and that is the truth, and I don't care about the rest of it. Like, I don't care if they love me back. I don't care. And that's that healing, right? It's like, I can just say, I love you and I accept you as you are, no matter what you feel about it. This is my truth. And I think that is what they've, or you've been looking for from your parents for maybe your whole life. Okay, so I don't know what time is that, say 84? So we're gonna go on to Aries. Hi, Aries. I did the bottoms of the deck at the beginning of this video, and those will play into my reading here for you. So immediately with you, I have a lot of activity in the top of my brain. Love yourself first. That's an Aries specialty. Okay, this is intense girl talk. I don't want to lose you. So you have the twin chakra, right? So I feel like you're feeling very activated. He's feeling very activated. There may be a fear here of losing yourself versus losing them, and the balance that takes. Whenever we have justice in reverse, it's a feeling of unfairness, right? Things are not fair here. Things do not feel balanced. We are kind of weighing things on our sword, and we're deciding to respect yourself. You're deciding to respect yourself. But I feel a real push-pull here around the fears that crop up as if they pulled away, because of the intensity. When the forest green card comes up, I get that the masculine influences in their life have played quite a big role, either for good or for bad. With this girl talk card here, this is more of a practical reading than the other ones have been, but it's like I feel there may have been a masculine that left their family or made decisions that were questionable or difficult. Like they had some male in their life that maybe didn't offer the commitment to their family that they said, right, they withdrew commitment or something like that. And then I have a feeling that the feminines in their family could have really spoken badly about masculine energies. And when you're around a mother who speaks badly of men and you're a man, then you believe that this is the truth about who you are. And so in your relationships, you kind of see yourself like, I can't even talk now, and this hasn't been a problem. So I get the feeling that they have problems speaking their truth here. They probably have a problem. They don't want to talk to you about how intense they feel about this, how triggered they feel about this. I get a feeling some of you really could have been ghosted because it was so difficult for them to even like talk about any of this. It feels like to me you both appear to have moved on, or you're trying hard to make it look like everything's fine and you're having fun. I think they're doing the same thing. If you guys can see each other, I think like online, that, or you hear it, like you're somehow connected in a community, because I can see that here also, that I think that they're trying to make it look like really great. But the truth is you can feel the push-pull in the sacral chakra. That's very like give and take, like the balance of give and take. You can feel when you're putting your energy on and you're taking it off, and they can feel that too. It's like you keep activating each other's deepest fears here. And I would even go as far to say as like you would call them a narcissist, or they're acting narcissistic, or I've never had my throat get this bad in a reading before. And part of that is patterning that they've learned, and part of it is fear, and part of it is like there's a healing that you need to do about loving yourself first. And there's a lot of great things about being empathic and emotional and sensitive. You know, I'm all those things. But there are lessons around people pleasing and putting yourself last that come with that often that you need to learn. And that may be what he's showing you, that you have to balance your relationships with this self-love and this self-respect. And, you know, on our way to learning unconditional love for ourselves, we do need boundaries. I don't think you have to, you know, they're important because probably you haven't had them in the capacity that you need them. And sorry, it's important. And then my body starts acting all weird. Okay. So when you guys trigger each other so deeply and you don't understand what's going on, it really is difficult. And speaking about this with female friends that don't understand the twin flame journey doesn't necessarily help it at all, because though they love you and they're trying to help you and they're trying to understand what's going on, it's really, really not possible for them to really understand the journey that you're on. And that journey that you're on is about learning to fully love yourself and fully trust yourself. There are people around you who may be able to help you with that particular thing. Like they're highlighting sisters, cousins, and like light workers around you that may be able to help you with the self-love and self-respect portion. But really it's about learning to be fair with yourself and be honest with yourself. And like, you don't want to lose them, but do you want to lose yourself? You know, you can't give up everything you want and your self-respect and your self-love in order to just so you won't lose them. And there is something here also about living in the moment, like learning not to base everything off of where you've been or where you think you're going. And those things are important. It's like to remember and to look ahead, but always like your life is created in the now. You can steer the ship like with a direction in mind, but they're saying give your space, give your heart this, like give yourself the space to change your what's in your heart from time to time, like to really be able to look at what's in your heart and examine it, you know, because it's really the one thing that you can't afford to lose. Like if you get off track from your heart and where your heart ultimately wants to go in your own life, that may take, you know, months and years to kind of reclaim and redirect and get back on track, right? So they're saying like check in with your heart a lot and see that right now you're kind of you're having fun, but you're also in alignment with your soul's purpose and where you want to go. That took a meandering turn there, but okay, I hope that helped you. So last but not least is Taurus. So Taurus, at the beginning of this video, I did the bottoms of the decks, and those will play into this reading if you'd like to see what they are. So, the perpetual transmutation of energy. It looks to me like you are having a nice energy here. There's a lot of abundance around you. I feel like you're beginning to kind of let go of the control that you've had over your life and let it unfold. And that there's 3 people in these 2 cards here. I do think community may play a bigger role in your life, or a friend group, or, you know, you may have been feeling alone. I get this feeling you've been waiting and kind of biding your time. I think that time is coming to an end. Let me get one more color card here. Yeah, I think that time is coming to an end, and you're focusing more on how powerful you are with your energy and what you can create in this life. And you may have been in a period of time where your masculine too was maybe in a period of time where they were trying to control a lot of things around them, and the like a lot of variables feel like they were kind of like locked down is what I want to say. But now you're letting go of some of these things. Specifically, I think around the protection of your inner child. You may have done quite a bit of healing work around that. And I think you feel more secure in allowing situations to unfold naturally, knowing that you'll be able to handle the energy that comes. As we're always in a state of moving through, you know, energy. That's that perpetual transmutation, is that we're always in a state of moving through. And I feel like you may have tried to take yourself out of that movement, or you were like, I get a lot of 12th house energy here, that you were waiting for something to happen. You may have been like working towards a degree or some achievement. They may have, and now I feel like you have kind of achieved a new status, or gotten to a point in life where you're like, okay, I feel a lot more secure in my reality, a lot more grounded, a lot more like this can start, this new endeavor can start. And so you may have been putting this journey, like your masculine, or they may have been putting you on hold. And now I feel like it's time for you two to like pay attention to each other a little bit. I get this feeling that there's going to be a little seduction in play here. Attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third party interference. I do think that there are third parties around this relationship. He's saying all I want to do is talk. It's up to you to hold your boundaries of what you believe is right for you. And I do see that, you know, he probably is going to come in and tell you, wow, you're looking good holding that pentacle there. I'm seeing you. You're going to feel a temptation, and it's kind of up to you what you want to do with that, because there is passion and chemistry here. There is kind of a feeling that you have the opportunity, if you wanted it right now, to, metaphorically have your ships pass in the night. I don't know that that's what you want, only you know, but they could come in for a little visit and try to test the waters. I see here. You're going to have to decide what your boundary is around that, and if you feel like you want to engage your pentacle with them, because your pentacle's looking really good right now, and you've got a lot to offer, and I think that that's only going to grow over this next year with Jupiter in your sign. So obviously Jupiter affects everybody all the time, but it's in your first house, so, which is obviously an ace is a one. You're going to have the opportunity to expand this, both in self, and then, in 2024, your wealth will reflect that expansion. It may already be doing that, but anyway, I think that's what I have. We're ending it on a nice note here, that you may get a visit, and you should think about what you're willing to accept and what you're not, and what the new version of you wants in life, and be prepared to communicate that to them. I don't really feel like that's a problem. That's why I'm not like kind of making a point to talk about it. But anyway, let's get some advice cards, because I feel like it. And I hope that this has helped you guys. What kind of advice do we want? Let's see. Let's see what Ascended Masters are around working with us, what they want to say. I feel a very nice energy with this Lot of Fortune here, so we're going to put that there. My particular Lot of Fortune is in my 8th house in Capricorn, and Pluto is retrograding back into Capricorn, I don't know, today. So that's nice. Let's see what areas this is affecting. Jupiter, abundance. I couldn't have asked for a better card. 6th house, routine, with the flower of life that is literally like stalking me. Aquarius, knowing. Saturn, truth. So a lot of the energies that we're already working with here are present. Discipline yourself to know like the truth of who you are and just how valuable you are. And look at the body. I was just talking about Jupiter in Taurus's first house here. Okay. Did I shuffle these? We're gonna shuffle a little more. So they're saying right now, there's a great opportunity for you to stabilize your stabilize your 6th house, which is everyday routines, and to increase your awareness, your truth, your knowingness, and your your life purpose. And the North Node is part of this. It's like you can increase your capacity to bring your purpose into the world by the routines that you set up for yourself in your body every day. So you have so a lot of abundance right now to energize your body, to make it healthier by the routines you set up that are repetitive, okay? Specifically, like finding what works for you and your body and just doing that almost every day to the point of like, this is my new identity, right? When we want to move to a new level, we need to first embody that level in our mind. Yeah, so when we want to embody this beautiful new level, it says unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. This white bird too has been in so many of my readings lately. And this sacred geometry. It's like we need to mentally get the picture of what we want to embody, and then we need to feel the feelings of what it would be like to be at that new level. And then we start to adopt the habits and we bring that into like our everyday life. Take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. Okay. So they want us to begin to be the example of wisdom here. You already know the answer you seek, trust what you know. And then we have this Ouroboros here with the Ankh, which is the feminine divine symbol. Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. Yes, we do not need to get overwhelmed. So if we want to be at this big new level, we do not need to get overwhelmed, right? Like the rose blooms one petal at a time. There's so much about blooming in this. The rose blooms one petal at a time, and show your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So, you know, there's something here about knowing your rose. And the very beginning of my feminine awakening, Mary Magdalene played a huge role, like in visiting me. And for those of you that don't know, I was initiated as a Rosicrucian, which is a secret society, and their symbol is the cross with the rose at the center. And I believe that that's part of the reemergence of the divine feminine energy on earth. But like I'm saying, awakening presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. And so they're just saying, like, you're being guided to trust your spiritual guidance. And part of the way that you trust, look, you can't make it up. Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. And then Kuan Yin. So we have all this beautiful divine feminine energy here coming through, and then the divine masculine. Care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. So, you know, the flower of life and the lotuses here in Gaia. You'll have a big opportunity now to up-level your daily routine and to bring sacredness to your daily routine and to make it. They're saying it's not about money, but about intention and like bringing beauty and order to your world that expresses your divine pattern of your soul. And this is a very attractive force. It's very magnetic when we find the pattern of our, you know, flower of life, our divine expression, and we bring it into the world as only we can, right? And so yesterday they were kind of going on and on with me about why is the saying like the way you do one thing, the way you do everything. And I'm gonna make a video on this today, but like it's because of the energy underlying it is your energy. And so when you shift the energy underlying everything that you're doing it with to a higher frequency, naturally what you're doing elevates itself because you're holding your self-concept at a much higher frequency. So I hope that helps you. I very much enjoyed doing this. It was just a kind of spur of the moment decision. And yeah, hopefully I'll do this each week and let me know if it helps you and if you resonated with your message or not. I would say, you know, watch any of them that you're called to watch. Specifically, they're saying Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, Venus, but that's a lot for you and your masculine. And like the parts where your chart overlaps may be specifically meaningful to you. So anyway, bye for now. See you next time. I don't know how to end this.